Welcome to the Keep Cheap channel. My name is Laura Keep, and on my channel we talk all about living on a budget, aka being cheap. For those of you who've been watching my videos, yesterday I went to harvest some of my garden because we're moving soon. I harvested beans, beets, and Swiss chard, and some carrots. But the carrots aren't really ready yet. I tried to harvest a couple of them today, and they need some time yet. The corn was pretty bad. I don't know if it's gonna make it this year. I don't know if it's gonna have time to finish. I have to admit that I was feeling like a little bit discouraged during the whole gardening process. I felt like there was so many bald spots in my garden, like where nothing came up. But when I was harvesting, I actually got a pretty good yield considering the amount of effort I put in. I had feelings of like thankfulness, gratefulness, and so that was really rewarding, really nice. I felt like even though I put very little effort in, I had received a blessing from the good Lord, and I was very thankful. But that's not what this video is about. I wanted to break down the numbers on how much I could have made potentially in terms of food prices. With inflation, I feel like I'm making a decent amount of money with my garden. Instead of like buying the produce, I'm just eating produce. I wanted to calculate my earnings in food, in the local prices. Like, if I went to the city, I could probably get food for cheaper, but I live in a small town kind of up north, or like northeast part of Saskatchewan, so our grocery store prices are like really high. It is very expensive to live here in terms of food. In terms of housing, it's not that bad. So that's where things maybe even out a little bit. So I got my green beans, and I got actually quite a bit of green beans. I got like a grocery bag full of green beans, and I blanched them all and froze 2 big bags of green beans yesterday, and 2 bags, 750 gram bags of green beans would be worth, so one is worth $2.99 I think, but or is it $2.95? Whatever. I kind of calculated it as $3. Hello. She's just coming to say hi. So I calculated it as $3 per bag, and I froze 2 bags that were probably a little bit more than 750 grams, but whatever. So I calculated it as 2 bags, so that's $6. My beets, my grocery store, the average beet price is 40 cents, and they say that the average beet is 90 grams. Mine were a little bit smaller, but I'm kind of thinking I got like 25-ish beets out of my garden, which was really awesome. I was so excited. Beets are my favorite vegetable, so definitely very excited to see the beets come out. I calculated that I would have spent about $8 on the amount of beets that I got out of my garden, which was kind of disappointing. They're garden beets. They'll be great. I like to think they're better than store-bought beets, but they're probably just the same. Swiss chard. Yesterday I froze 2 bags. I have another bag I need to wash and freeze, and then there's so much Swiss chard. It's like the only thing that grew really well, so I need to go back and pick some more Swiss chard and freeze it, and I probably could get like 7 bags. I'm calculating as if I was freezing 5 bags, and I'm using spinach prices because our grocery store doesn't sell spinach. So spinach, you spend $4 per bag. So if I have 5 bags, that's $20. And for carrots, I calculated, I'm kind of estimating I'm gonna get 5 pounds of carrots, and a 5-pound bag is $6.50. But I'm probably gonna get a little bit less carrots because my carrots are very small, but it's okay. I need to go back and pull the carrots, but they are so, like, the ground is so hard that I actually like was digging them out with a shovel, and I broke the handle of the shovel because my total that I would have gotten was like $40.50. Excuse my daughter, she's trying to interrupt me, and she's playing and talking right in front of me, right on the floor here in front of the couch. She's got lots to say. So I calculated I would make like $40.50. So for seed, I spent, my first order was $35, and then I had to get a couple more bags of seeds, or like little packages of seeds, and it was another $5. And so I spent around $40 for seeds. So I really only just made back what I spent. However, I still have a couple vegetables that I haven't pulled off. Like I have tons of onions, and I have kale that is at my in-laws' place. I have tomatoes that are at my in-laws' place, and I have some peppers there. And then I also have like extra bags of Swiss chard that I didn't include in my calculations, and peas. I have a whole row of peas yet. So I definitely have more food in my garden than what I put out, but not by much. It's a little bit discouraging, but it's okay. You know, you're not always gonna make money, and the quality of the food is higher, so I could have maybe calculated, you know, organic food prices, and that I would have made way more, but because all my stuff is organic, I wanted to use regular food prices just because that's what I would have bought if I wasn't planting it myself. I obviously made very little money, close to no money. There's probably a couple expenses that I haven't even included because I forget about them. I made a few mistakes that affected my yield. I think I would have made more money or more yield if I wouldn't have made these mistakes. Like I should have weeded more, mulched more, but yeah, there were just circumstances in my life that prevented me from putting a lot of effort and time into my garden. So it is what it is. Even though this year my gardening experience was a little bit difficult, I still want to do it again because next year I have my own place and I already have a garden planned for my house. I have a pretty big yard, so I want to put a garden. I'm gonna rip up some of my lawn and put a garden in. I've already been browsing like beautiful layouts on Pinterest, and I'm super inspired. And to finish this video, I just have a quote I wanted to share. I thought this is a great quote, very appropriate to the beginner struggles for gardening. Be brave enough to be bad at something new. And it's kind of cheesy, but I saw it on Pinterest today and I thought, you know what? I was brave and I was bad at something new. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.